the first card you have for your past is the Lovers. So yeah, I'm seeing starting again, starting all over again with someone, which is really nice. I think you might have been trying to, start again with someone, and this is a love situation. I know that sounds obvious because this is the Lover's card, but it doesn't always mean love. It can mean different things. It can mean choices. It can mean all sorts of different things depending on what's going on around it or whatever. But yeah, this is a love situation, and you were trying to start again after some kind of separation or breakup or something like that. And this card is about, this is the Garden of Eden in this card. This is where everything was supposed to have started. So yeah, starting again, starting afresh. And I'm just picking up this sense of feeling as if one of you might have been a little bit more enthusiastic about getting together than the other one, or it might not be that. It might just be that one of you was a little bit more realistic. One of you was a little bit more kind of, oh, I'm so happy I'm back together, it's all love and it's wonderful, and the other one was a little bit like, well, that's great, I'm happy too, but I'm just a bit more realistic. I'm just taking one day at a time. I'm just making sure that everything's okay. I've got my eyes opened. I'm not under any illusions that this is going to be amazing or whatever. I'm happy, yes, but I'm realistic. So it's kind of like that. One was like, like this, and the other one was like that. That's what I'm seeing. It might have been you that had your eyes opened. It might have been you that was a bit realistic, a bit more realistic than the other person. That's what I'm seeing. And it was more of a feeling than anything else. It was like you kind of felt this, that you had to this time make sure that you were really careful, that you took things slowly, something like that. So the man in this card, he's looking over to this woman, but the woman's looking up to the angel. So, and also she's standing in front of the tree of knowledge, so she knows that not everything's always as it seems. Not everything's always roses and beautiful and wonderful, especially when it comes to love. And obviously, Eve in this, situation in the Garden of Eden, she has, she's standing in front of this tree, and there are, snakes and apples and whatever, and she made a bad choice back then. She listened to the snake and took the snake's advice. So she knows that it's not just apples, there are snakes, there's good and bad. So I think you were very realistic about things. I think you were thinking, of course, I'm hoping that this is going to be good. I'd like this to be good, but I'm still on the lookout in case it's not. I'm not going to kind of fall completely in until I'm kind of completely sure of this. I'm still a bit unsure. So it's that kind of thing. And yeah, you had your eyes opened and you weren't just looking at them. You were kind of looking at everything else that was going on around them. And I think maybe when you broke up, there might have been some kind of suspicion around them, and I'm not sure about that. That might not resonate with everyone, but I'm just seeing that because when I see, having your eyes opened and watching what's happening around you and kind of looking out, and also, what stood out to me in the tree was a snake. I'm not saying they're a snake, but, it's kind of things that aren't quite out in the open, that kind of thing. So yeah, that's just a thing I'm just picking up there. So anyway, so the next card you have, your past, is the Page of Cups. So yeah, I think this person's really fun. They're really fun to be around. They're funny. And I think, when you separated, you probably really missed this about them. I think you really missed that kind of fun talk and all of that when you're away from them. And I think you also missed the daily contact where you could just pick up the phone at any time and message without thinking. And you could just do that at any time, and you kind of enjoyed this all day, not all day, every day, but just whenever. any time throughout the day, you could just pick up and you could just text them. They might not answer right away, but you knew that they would sometime, and you could kind of continue on. And that's nice. It's something that's kind of always there throughout the day. And I think when you separated, you didn't have that. And you might have done things like picked up your phone and gone, oh, I can't message them, I have to put the phone down, you know, and then you felt really sad, that kind of thing. I think, you know, obviously now that you're back, you can do that now, you can pick up the phone, but I think your messages might be a little bit more guarded, I should say. You're putting more thought into what you're saying, and things aren't quite as spontaneous as they were when you were together for the first time. And I think this is normal. You know, when you be going through problems, you're a little bit afraid of what you might say to them, or you're kind of a bit careful. You might also not want to be too enthusiastic about kind of texting all the time and being the first one to text. It's not like you're playing games with them, but you don't want to be kind of jumping up and down all over them. You know, you're just trying to just hold back just that little bit. You're just taking one day at a time as well. And I think if this is all resonating with you, whether you stay together, whether you end up just as friends, or whatever happens down the line, I think this feeling between you won't be what it used to be ever again. That doesn't mean it's going to be bad. It can still be good, but it can be different good. Good, but feeling different. It can be like that. It just won't be the same as it was before. And, you know, that's understandable. You've got to realize that's going to happen, and you don't feel the same. Nobody does. That's just normal. So yeah, the last card you have your past is the King of Cups. So I think you are probably both a lot more guarded than you used to be. It's not just you, it's not just them. I think you both were. And you know, just around the way you're both communicating. And if you look at this king, he sits on top of the water, he sits on top of his emotions. He doesn't like to give away how he's feeling. And, you know, this is normal, of course, to be a bit more careful with everything this time around. But I think, you know, I think this is here to give you a message as well. I think there might be a danger that just be careful that you don't take this to an extreme where you'd be stopping yourself from saying things, or maybe you're stopping yourself from speaking your truth or expressing yourself or being yourself. I'm not seeing that you're doing this now, but it might be something that might happen in the future at some time. This is the sort of thing that kind of grows on you, it catches up on you before you realize it's happening. So just make sure that you don't do that, because I was seeing this very spontaneous text messaging and talking and all of that thing before. Now you're more guarded, but make sure you don't take that to an extreme where you're kind of really afraid of saying this and you're walking on eggshells and you don't want to kind of upset people. Don't ever let it get to that stage. So that's just a reminder. That's what I'm seeing there. So the first card you have your present is, yes, the Eight of Cups. So, yes, I think when you separated, you know, when you distanced yourself from this person, I think you wanted to walk away in a sense. I think your head wanted to walk away, but I think your emotions were probably pulling you back toward them. I think you found that you just hated being away from them. You just really didn't want to be away from them. If you look at the man on this card, he's kind of trying to walk away. He's trying to walk away from these emotions. He's trying to walk away from this Wall of Cups. But, you know, he can't really do that. The water's flowing from him back toward the cup. So your emotion was flowing toward them, whether you liked it or not. That's how it was. And it was a little bit like you were trying to swim against the tide when you were trying to walk away from them. It felt kind of impossible. You know, this card can also be about walking away from things that aren't realistic. It can be about that as well. So I think even though you came back, again, I'm seeing that you weren't going to, or you're not at this time going to close your eyes or your ears to anything that might have been going on. So again, I'm seeing that is indicating to me that there might have been something a little bit sly going on and someone might have been forgiven. It might not be for everyone, and it might not be exactly what happened, but I am seeing something like that, and it keeps on repeating. I keep on seeing that. I keep on seeing it everywhere. So yeah, I don't know if this is going to make sense, but I'm seeing early mornings, and there's a moon in the sky in this card, but it's not dark, so it's still daytime. So it's either kind of early in the evening or early morning when the moon's still up, and I think it's early morning. It's still daytime, but the moon's there, and I think something might have been happening in the early morning. I think maybe this might have been what caused this initial separation. It might not have been, but that's what I'm seeing. Yeah, I mean, look at the face on this moon. He isn't happy with what he's seeing. And when it's early in the morning, nobody else is around to see this, just the moon. So something was happening when there weren't many people around. Now, it might have been something like, might not have been this, but someone might have been sneaking out of a house early in the morning. Let's face it, that's what I'm seeing. Or it might just be someone who is a little bit sly, or maybe something sneaky might have been happening early in the morning. It might not have been cheating. Don't automatically think that. It might have been, but it might have been something else. But it was something that only the moon saw this. So only the moon saw it. No people saw this. That's what I'm seeing. Don't worry, don't be alarmed. This might be the reason why you're very wary, or you're really kind of making sure your eyes are opened around this. The next card you have for your present is the Hanged Man. So yeah, I think this is a time where you're just reflecting. You're just going to reflect on things. You're just hanging back, sitting back, thinking about things, taking your time, taking the time to really, just think carefully about everything. And I think that's a really good idea for you to do. Reflection, sometimes when you see your reflection in the water, or maybe in the back of a spoon even, it can be your reflection can be upside down, and this man's obviously upside down. So yeah, reflection. And I think that something that someone says to you at this time might cause you to reflect a bit more and think a bit more about things, reflect on things. I'm actually seeing someone who might not be happy about you being with this person or getting back together with this person. But you're a strong person, and you won't let anyone decide anything for you. Whatever decision you make is your own decision, nobody else's. But I think it might be a good thing for you actually to hear this, what they're saying, to hear this opposition to what you're doing. Now, obviously, hearing opposition to what you've decided to do isn't a good feeling. Nobody likes that. But there are some things around this that you might not have thought out properly. I'm seeing one specific thing around something that maybe you and your partner might have been in conflict with, and it might not have anything to do with why you separated. It might be a completely different thing again. And I think if this resonates, this is something that you might have to, or you are going to have to address at some time. And I think now might not be the best time to do that, because obviously this is the Hanged Man. This is about sitting back and waiting and not taking action. But I think because you have this Hanged Man, and you also have the King of Cups, who can be someone who kind of hides things or puts things under the carpet or doesn't let people see things. This is something that probably has to come out in the open at some time, and I think you're going to have to work on this eventually. That doesn't mean it has to come out in the open for everyone to see, just between you and your partner. You're going to have to discuss this or work on whatever this is. So the last card you have, your present, is the Four of Cups. So yeah, you're definitely not going to be, or you're not listening to this person who doesn't approve of what you're doing. You're not listening to them about your relationship. You're still going to be with this person. That's what I'm seeing. But again, don't throw everything that they say out. I'm not seeing them having any bad intentions towards you. I think they're trying to tell you this because they care about you. I think they've known you for a long, long time, this person. I think, there might be a family member. They just really care about you. That's what I'm seeing. They're worried about you. And they just don't want to see you hurt. So if this resonates, try not to automatically think that they're saying things to be against you or they're trying to go against you. I don't think that's what they're trying to do. Of course, you're strong enough and you're smart enough to make your own decisions, but think about everything they say to you. Don't just kind of hear what they say and then say, they're just saying that because they don't like me. They just don't like that person. They're just this, they're just that. Don't dismiss things. Don't discard things that they're saying. I keep on seeing that there's some really, really important advice in there that's inside there somewhere. There are some gems in what they're saying. And if you throw the whole thing out, you're going to miss out on some really important information or some things that you really should be thinking about. You really don't want to kind of shut your eyes to that. You were determined when you got back together with this person that you're going to keep your eyes open. So keep your eyes open to what this person's telling you as well. That's what I'm seeing. So the first card you have for your future is the 8 of Wands. So yeah, I'm seeing work, and I'm seeing that you are really kind of pushing yourself in this card in your workplace. And I always see you trying to push yourself in work. I've seen that a lot in your readings. I've been seeing it for months actually. You push yourself, you try to get somewhere in your work. I'm seeing you getting up early again. I'm seeing that, getting up early. And I'm seeing you being really conscientious. I think this kind of hard work that you're doing, I think it's going to really start to pay off for you at this time. There might even be some kind of bonus or some kind of promotion that's coming for you. And, it's going to be a surprise, because I think this is going to happen very quickly for you. It's going to come in very quickly for you. Now, you have been doing some extra work, a lot of extra work actually, and you might have even been studying as well. And this is relating to your work. So I'm seeing you are doing all of these kinds of things, really burning the candle at both ends actually, being up early and also staying up late at night getting things done. So late nights, early mornings, cold early mornings, all of that kind of thing. So you are going to see this paying off for you now, and it's going to pay off quickly. This is coming in for you very quickly, and it might surprise you. So it's going to be a nice surprise that comes in for you. So that's positive. So the next card you have for your future is the 7 of Wands. So I think you might still be having to face some more talk or some more kind of opposition around this relationship. I think this is going to be this person again that was in the Hanged Man, this relative or this sibling or whoever this is. And I think they're going to be either calling you, texting you, trying to keep on talking with you about this, saying, oh, this person isn't good for you. I don't think you should do this. I don't think you should do that. Now, I know I was seeing that they had some good information for you that you had to listen to. Yes, they did. But I think at this time, I think you're just going to be over talking about this. I think it's going to be enough. I think, they care about you, but I think by this time, I think you've probably just heard just about everything that there is to hear about this subject. I'm just getting this feeling of, I've been through this. There's nothing else to say about this. It's over. Don't talk about this ever again. Enough. And I think once you are happy to talk to this person about this, you're happy to share this information. But I think now, you're just going to want to keep your relationship and your issues around that to yourself. And, if this resonates, I think, you're right to do this. You're right to want to keep certain things private. And I'm not saying you've done anything wrong by talking to them, but I think, when you think about it, I think if your partner was telling people, siblings, relatives about your private things, your relationship, you wouldn't like it either. So I think, you're really... you're protecting yourself, you're protecting your partner, and you're just protecting your privacy, and also you're protecting your own state of mind, because I think enough is enough. I think you can rehash a relationship over and over again, and then, you know, it's just enough after that. It's just too much. You just get tired of it by then, and I think that's how you're feeling at this time. So the last card you have for your future is the Ten of Wands. Yes, this big burden card. So yeah, again, you know, you're right to keep this to yourself, because I think, or you are right to keep this to yourself, because I think you're just going to need a break from talking about this. Again, I'm seeing that again. You're going to have a break from everything, really, I think, at this time. That's what I'm seeing. You have been working hard. You've been trying to deal with this relationship situation, getting back together again. You've been dealing with this person trying to talk you out of it, and you've just been dealing with everything. You've been studying as well, getting up early, everything. So I think enough is enough. And what I'm seeing in this card is just have a break. Just have a break. Sit around. Don't do anything for a while. Watch a silly movie or a funny movie. Do something that isn't important. Or do nothing. I mean, this sounds a bit silly, you know, telling you to watch a funny movie or something, but these things are important. And I think, you know, you've done so much for your work, so much for your relationship, so much for everyone else. It's time to do something for yourself. And I think that something that you need to do for yourself might be nothing. Go to sleep. You know, have a break. I think that's what you need to do. That's what this is telling you. Don't end up like this man on the Ten of Wands. Enough is enough. That's what I'm seeing.